Today we have a BMW i7 M7D. In this video, I'll talk about what the i7 is, how I feel about the interior space, and what it's like to drive it. The BMW 7 Series is one of the most iconic German sedans. The full-size sedan from the Bavarian manufacturer has been with us since the late 70s, and the current 7th generation, codenamed G70, debuted in 2022. It's offered as a mild or plug-in hybrid with 6 or 8 cylinders under the hood, and for the first time, the 7 Series is offered as a fully electric vehicle called an i7 that you see here. So let's focus on the i7. As of powertrains, we get 3 options in North America. A single-motor, rear-wheel drive e-drive 50 model, offering 449 horsepower with a range up to 301 miles. More powerful dual-motor all-wheel drive X-Drive 60 with 536 horsepower and up to 317 miles of range. And top-of-the-line M7D, producing 650 horsepower and giving you around 274-291 miles of range. Each i7 comes with a 105 kWh battery pack and is built on a 400-volt architecture capable of fast charging. Using a DC fast charger should take about 28 minutes, and more popular level 2 chargers will refill your battery in about 6 hours. Built on the Clar platform, it features a fully aluminum double wishbone suspension up front and a multi-link setup in the back. The M70 variant gets an M-specific adaptive 2-axle air suspension with electronically controlled dampers and automatic self-leveling. M-specific air springs with reduced volume hydraulics are also used to optimize damper response. Now, before we talk how it all works together and what it's like to drive the i7 M7D, let's jump inside and talk about the interior space. When designing the new i7, BMW followed current trends and took a minimalistic approach to declutter the interior, which has its pros and cons. The cabin isn't overwhelming despite all the screens, but that doesn't mean it's an easy car to use. What happened is you lost a lot of physical control, so you rely on the infotainment, and in many cases you have to jump from one menu to another to change simple things. Now, shortcut buttons on the center console or ability to save your favorites in a drop-down menu help, but I would much prefer more physical controls to easily adjust HVAC system. I mean, even something stupid like exterior light controls are now moved to the infotainment. To make things better, I must admit, the iDrive remains the best operating system in the car industry. It has a clean interface with crisp graphics and smooth animations, and you can control it either via a touchscreen or a controller. While there is a little bit of learning curve, the menu structure is logical, the gauge cluster is fairly customizable and provides you with all the information you need, including map, turn-by-turn directions, or vehicle data. Now, I don't have the words to describe the optional Bowers & Wilkins Diamond Surround audio system. It is hands down the best sound system I've ever heard in any car, providing a few different listening modes and, what's most important, beautiful, not distorted and well-balanced sound. The overall interior quality is fantastic. You get a great mix of leather, aluminum and glass in the cabin, and I don't think I have to mention that everything is well put together. The sitting position is great, and front seats with adjustable bolsters and a back massage are super comfortable and can accommodate pretty much any body type. Now, the back seat is where you want to be in the i7. You get highly adjustable individual massaging seats that, in case of the right passenger seat, reclines, folding tables, screens that control certain car functions including ambient lighting or multimedia, and an optional 31-inch 8K drop-down display with Amazon Fire and HDMI ports. Alright, so that was the interior of the BMW i7. Let's get it on the road now and see how it drives. Setting off in the i7 you feel nothing, as you should. No matter how many M badges you put on this thing and how many drive modes you add, the 7 Series will always be a luxury, full-size sedan in the first place, with emphasis on providing maximum ride comfort. And guess what? Even though I will always take cars with an internal combustion engine over EVs, I must admit, electric powertrain in a car like the 7 Series makes total sense. There's no noise, no vibration, no harshness. And from a luxury perspective, that's what you want. Now, one can argue that all EV drivetrains feel soulless, and yes, that's true. To partially solve the lack of emotions, BMW worked with Hans Zimmer on developing unique sounds that you hear when accelerating or slowing down, and as stupid as it sounds, it makes driving the i7 a special experience. Take a listen. Sounds cool, doesn't it? Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, the M7 received revised suspension which, combined with adaptive dampers and rear-wheel steering, masks almost 6,200 pounds that the i7 weighs pretty well. I can't say the car is super engaging to drive, but it deserves a BMW badge. It is well balanced and predictable, the center of gravity is relatively low, and with responsive variable ratio steering, I had a little bit of fun on my favorite back road that you see here. Now, when you drive or are driven in the i7 as intended, it's not gonna let you down. The car literally floats over every surface, making you feel like you're on a magic carpet and isolates you from the outside world. If you sit in the back, close the sunshades, recline the rear seat, and unfold the screen, you will travel better than most economy passengers on a plane. Other touches like customizable ambient lighting and phenomenal sound system elevate the experience, and just like I said before, the i7 will always prioritize comfort and luxury over anything, making you feel very special. So that was the new BMW i7 M7D. With everything we covered, let's jump to final thoughts. Some of the reasons why we all love BMWs are their powertrains and driving dynamics. While the 7 Series has always been a luxury sedan in the first place, it had a little bit of fun factor that its rivals didn't. Now, the times are changing, and the i7 is an example of what BMW and many other manufacturers focus on and will focus on in the future. Technology and wow factor in the first place, and driving characteristics in the second. And yes, for an EV, the i7 M7D feels special, but that changes when you look at previous generations. Pricing starts at $170,000, and my tester was priced a little over $190,000. Now, obviously, this is a car that you are most likely going to lease, and you're probably looking at $1,900 monthly payment. If you have any questions about the i7, drop a comment and I'll answer them. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.